biggest difference. Here we are again. Only we're outside. Just get myself comfortable. Have some straw to sit on. Yeah, so spring has come to our country, Denmark. Oi. And we've had so much sun and a lot of dry weather, very dry. So the water it's sort of evaporating, and there's patches on the grazing areas that are it's just dead. It's been killed by the water. It's been there for so long. So here I am. Here the sun came again. It's been cool last night. We've had quite a bit of frost also, and it's windy today. But I thought let's try and see if the cows want to come and lie here while we do our Sunday shining. It's a bit of a cold wind in my back. We'll just see. So, here we are, you in your life and me in my life, and I was just seeing a podcast which you might know, called Inspire Nation, by a man called Michael Sandler, which is, he invites many people who are into spirituality. It's all really about New Earth, about our awakening process and how to shine our light. And he was just interviewing Paul Selig, who is a medium, or not a medium, he's a channel, and has written quite a few books. And so it's very much really what he's saying, or his guides are saying through him, I feel I'm saying, and it's just it's really, really beautiful, because as I've been making these videos, and as you know, I went into more spirituality with this channel, going from the old channel, which was very physical, about having cows and being on the land and all this, and then coming more and more into our inner life. And it's it's a process where you don't just sit down and say, this is what I'm going to do, and I know exactly what I'm going to say. As I've said many times, often I really don't know what I'm going to say. And the thing is, when we just relax and we tune into our inner self, it all comes. It's all natural because God is speaking in there all the time, within all of us. And so just let the river flow. Let the mountains spring. Let it just flow. Don't clog it up. Don't close it up. Just let it all flow.
Yes, it's yes.
Let's see how they get comfortable. They usually lie here. It's just wonderful to practice this, and that's really what I wish to inspire you to do. Just open up the world within you. And the only reason why we've been suffering for so long is that we've closed off the inner world. As we open up the inner world, life all falls into place, or into its new place, and we start, our life changes completely and becomes as it is meant to be for this new age. So we're closing a door and we're opening another door. And as they all say, it's going to happen no matter what you do. And the more you try to keep the old door open, the more you're going to suffer. And the more you just allow the new door to open up, the door to the inner realms open up, the more wonderful you're going to feel. And it's instantaneous, really. It happens straight away. So, and as he was saying, Paul Selig was saying, it's really very, very simple. And what his guides are saying is the only problem we as humans have, or have ever had, is our denial of the divinity in all. That God is within everything, that God is omnipresent, and God is manifesting himself or herself within all of creation all the time. And the only reason why we suffer is because that we do not believe that. We live in when we're living in separation, we're always trying to find out what's wrong and where is God not. God is in all the good things. God is not in the bad things. But as we open up the doors to this inner world and let God, allow God to take over the way we think, the way we see, the way we understand, if there's anything we want to understand, as we do this, first of all, there's no such thing as good and bad, because there's no longer any separation. There is no separation, and there's no place where God is not. And as he said, Paul Selig, it's like you've been living in an apartment in the bottom floor, and the view you had there was, of course, it was really quite dark and it was quite limited, and you've got all this stuff that you have accumulated. And now we're being asked to move up, to go up into the higher realms, which is the apartment up in the top, where you have this enormous view, and where you don't take all this stuff with you. You get to see everything from a higher vantage point, from a higher view, and that is coming into our God selves. We move higher. We don't disconnect. We stay connected, and we know what's happening. But what we see on the lower levels, it of course has changed, because you don't see it in the same way. It all looks different because you don't see the pain anymore. And your life transforms completely because you're not in that dimension anymore. And what he was also saying, which really is very much what I've been saying. It's by being. You are helping by being the divinity within you. By recognizing God within you. Allowing yourself to feel God within you. And be so brave in a way to say to yourself that I am God. And so are you, and you, and you, and you. And I choose to live my life as I am on this planet, for that amount of time I'm on this planet. The rest of my time here, I choose to live from that, in that reality that I am God. And God is expressing himself, herself, through me every moment. And it is not so much what I do, but it is the fact that I am completely in tune with that reality. I feel the joy of being God in human form. I just enjoy it. That is really, that is you becoming a portal, or opening up, as I was saying last time. You're opening up, making the door even wider for all the others to come up to the upper floor. Just by being. You won't be standing. That was bad timing. You won't be standing there shouting, come on everyone, come on, come on, come on. You're just actually being asked to enjoy. So let's just move a bit. It's a bit more quiet in here. We haven't got the beautiful sky to look at, but we've got the sheep. Yeah? So it's just wonderful. It's wonderful to sense how, as I have been going on my path and sharing with you, as I felt I was moving ahead, going up, going down, and on this path, that more and more people are saying the same thing, and it's just really, really reassuring. And it just really fills my heart with joy. And also that just to realize how sweet the message is from God. God is really, it's so hard for us to understand, because we've been in so much suffering, and it's so normal for us to be in such suffering. And what he's really inviting us to do is to enjoy ourselves. Enjoy life. Eat our food, or eat no food, whatever you choose to do. Enjoy being. And that's all really he's asking. And by deciding to enjoy, life becomes beautiful. So I've shared with you about my little journey of going on the carnivore diet, which is, and it's just to see how my body, if it heals even more by eating a lot of meat. And it's quite a strange thing to do, but I feel it's fun to try. And a part of the journey is that I've started having coffee once a day, and I make this butter coffee. So I make a cup of coffee in the morning at about 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, after I've had my first meal. And when I get a bit hungry, I make myself a cup of coffee, and it's just 1 tablespoon of this freshly ground, beautiful organic coffee. And I might put a cardamom pod into it. I grind it up, put it into the pot, and just boil it, or just bring it just slightly to a boil. Leave the lid on and just let it sit there for a few minutes. And then I strain it into my little jug, and I blend it with butter, a big chunk of butter, maybe 4 tablespoons of butter. A real lot of butter. And you get this amazing, creamy, some call it bulletproof coffee, but this is just butter, coffee and butter. And I love butter. And so I sit there, maybe watching something on the internet that's really inspiring. Just something I really, really love to do, where I really do nothing. I just have my coffee. And I enjoy it so much, and you can just sit there sipping it for an hour at least. So I really enjoy that. Become a coffee.
Yeah? You should buy it. Yeah.
Becoming a coffee drinker and a meat eater. Stuffing myself with meat and all these things. So if we allow it and are very playful with our lives, a life can change a real lot. And I love experimenting. I love seeing what does my body and my being really enjoy, and what makes me feel great. And so I'm just really being called to just enjoy myself. I mean, how much can you enjoy yourself in this moment? Is there a limit? There probably isn't. Of course there isn't. If you are God in human form, your ability to enjoy life itself and the beingness of who you are is unlimited. So there's never ever, you're never going to reach a limit.
Come, Lucy. Lucy, come. Come, Lucy.
Here.
Come here.
Get into the picture.
Yeah.
Here. Come.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah. 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 So and in these times of all this suffering with the coronavirus that has come onto the earth, let me just share some thoughts I feel, what I feel is just going on in my own mind. And one thing that came to me this morning was, you can see this in so many ways, but one is that nature, as I've really said before, but this is just another way of putting it, as some say, which is true, now we all have the same enemy. That's one way of seeing it. The virus is attacking humans all over the earth. This is not like a war where you have the goodies and the baddies. Now the baddie for many people is the virus, and it's attacking humans. So we all, in a way, or in many ways, we all are united in this. But the thing is, if you're in these lower vibrations, you see the virus as something negative that's hitting us. But in the higher realms, there's no such thing, because the virus is God too. And it's all, what happens on earth is always attempting to create balance, just like in our bodies, really. Whatever we do, if I drink 10 of those cups of coffees a day, my body's going to do all it can to bring itself into balance, because I'm going to go out of balance a real lot, because it's too much for me. And what I just got this morning about this virus is really Mother Earth saying, you know what, the way you behave, humans, it's like she's talking to humans like these little kids, saying, listen, the way you're behaving, I just won't have it anymore. So you all go home and just get out of my way. Just go home and go away. Just go away. Just like a naughty child, and the mother's just had enough and says, just go away. Go to your room, close the door, go to your room and stay away, because you're just being naughty. And that's really what the earth is doing. This virus is a part of earth. It's a part of God. It's part of all, and it is doing this to us where it's really telling us to get lost, really, to go. Get away, go away, because Mother Earth is saying, you're hurting me too much, so just go away and go home. And it's really like the child who's being told to go I did this many times with our kids. Not all the time, definitely not, but sometimes when there's just no way to work with the child and just to find some sort of solution, and something's really bad, they've done something that just is not okay, and you just need a break, and they need a break to just sit down and think. That's something you can do. Go to your room and shut the door, and you're just going to have to stay there for a while. And that's really what we're being asked to do. Go to your room and stay there and have a good think, or sense, what am I doing? What did I just do? Why is Mummy and Daddy angry at me? What did I just do? And should I go and say sorry? Or yeah, usually that's a good idea. Go and say sorry, or and have a become reconciled, reunited in love. So we're being told off as humans, and really, there's just so many different things that come into my mind. Did we really imagine that the way we behaved before was going to continue? Did we? I don't know how many humans imagined that they could just keep consuming and doing what they're doing and nothing was going to stop them. I mean, so in a way I feel, did it really have to take this long for us to get into this situation? Because it had to happen. Something had to happen. Something had to stop humans. And this is actually, I feel, a very, very gentle and very, very sweet way, because it is not something, we're not just being killed by the millions, and land being devastated, and where things are just really, really destroyed. We're just really being told to go away and think about it. Think about the way we live. And for the ones of us who want to stay in the suffering, we will see this as something bad. But those of us who wish to grow and who really know that their life had to change, they can see this as a really great help. Because now I've got the time to sit down and really have a look at my life. And yeah, and we're being asked, so that's just one way of seeing it. There's so many ways of seeing this. And as they say in many of the channelings, and which I really believe, every person who's dying from this particular disease, see, the people who have died in Denmark, I think it's 200 or less than 200 who have died from this disease over the last 4 weeks or something. They don't know if it was the coronavirus. It could have, because most of them had chronic illness in the first place. And so they don't know if there was a coronavirus, but they know they had the coronavirus when they died. And so what they say in the channelings, which I really believe, is that everyone who is dying from this has chosen this before they came here. They knew on a deep level that they have chosen to die that way. So there is absolutely not one person dying from the coronavirus who was not meant to die. And whatever they're dying from. And I just can't help it when I go to the shops. I was at the shops yesterday. And the whole thing of how they say that this is burdening our medical world. This is burdening the system, that all these people are becoming sick. No, what is burdening the system is that people are living, 9 out of 10 people or even more, are living a very, very destructive life, which means that they have to go to the hospital for things that they could have avoided, which really I've talked about so many times before, but it just is unbelievable how we can distort reality, because they're driving around with you see what many people put into their carts, and it is sugar, it is processed foods, it's these Coca-Cola, these soda drinks. And I just saw one man the other day, young man, he looked, he was not real healthy, but he just a young man, sort of normal looking, and he was with this quite large lady who was sort of moving around. I thought that must be his mother. It's mother and son, just sort of. And when she turned around, I could see she was very young. She was maybe 22 or 25, but already her body was aging, and you can see what's in the cart, and that's why. And see, they are feeling that they are costing all this money, and they are burdening our medical world. They are really the way we have learnt to live, and they're not at fault in any way, because it's just they're just uninformed people, and that's what's been happening for so long. So the whole thing of, oh my God, this is burdening the medical world. Really, a virus is a very natural thing, and it does come, and it wipes out so many people, and it is really, really natural. But a person who, in his complete awareness, consciousness, a conscious person who really is not completely conscious, but who is driving around with his cart, putting stuff into the cart, which they go home and put into their body, which is actually killing them, making them very unhealthy, which means that they have to go to the doctor, and it's costing society so much money and so much really sadness and all this bad stuff. And nobody's talking about that, but they're talking about a virus which has been on Earth always. It comes and it sweeps through society, through the world, cleans away so many people, and then it's gone again. It is completely natural. That's what they're making into something bad. It's just unbelievable. What is really destructive is the way that we treat ourselves and treat each other. So it's just so fascinating how man can take reality and just go and just change the whole view of it. It's just incredible. So, yeah.
Into his shirt.
Yes. I was going to make when the cows go and lie down, they lie in the sun here when they've had their morning feed. You can see they're chewing away. Yeah. We'll go and I'll do a little still film where there's no talking. We can just have a look at the cows, just some relaxation. So yeah. What was the other thing I was going to say? It's something I've really said before. I feel it in my own life, and I have, yeah. I don't know if I should share it again. But the whole thing of taking care of others and helping others is a very, it can be hard to really know how is it a good way to help this person in my life. And sometimes the most helpful thing you can do is actually leave them alone. I've said this many, many times, and it must be a theme in my life, because I'm such an initiator, and I really, yeah, I just really have this element in me that's very strong, that if I just do this and this and this, I'm going to help this person move on. Where I'm very much being told, and it's just like the coffee thing, change your life, or allow yourself to change itself completely. Allow your life to change itself completely, and just witness what happens, or just have a feel of what does this feel like, and so that's what I'm getting very strongly in my life, that some people, by just leaving them be and let them connect with me in the way they wish to connect with me, is actually a very loving thing to do. Allow them to express themselves, because I'm here, I'm available if they want to connect with me, but don't make any attempt to start anything, any communication really, and allow them to start the communication, and how that can actually be a very, very loving act. And help them out of, help them into freedom, and help them to help them to,
Where's your shirt?
so cute, help them to discover their own potential. Because what I'm just getting now is that many people, especially in our society, that is a very controlled society, really, with schooling and government, and you're really supposed to just do what everybody does, and it's not so much a free thinking, free creating society like I think the US is much more, where you really, people start little businesses. Here it's very government run, and you just have to sort of find a place where you can fit yourself in, like those Japanese hotels where you get a little room where you can just slide yourself in. It's so small, it's just so scary. You get this little room, there's a little room, and you have to figure out which one is for me. And it doesn't encourage free thinking, free creating, because it is such it's a system that's created where the human being is really in many ways forced, which we are not. But it's just our system in my country doesn't encourage free thinking and free creating so much. So for many people, that's what I experienced many years ago when I chose to be a housewife at home with my children, and I just thought it was such a gift. I just loved it so much, and I felt it was so stimulating, and so I just couldn't believe not many more women did it. And what many said to me was that I just could not do that because, well, some said maybe I would just be so bored. I would just be so bored, and others would say I would not be able to program my life. I would not be able to discipline myself to get things done and just have to organize my life, my daily life, if I didn't have a job. And that's what I think is so sad, that many people they feel they need someone to tell them what to do, otherwise they don't function. And of course they have really not opened their door to their own magnificence and their own the God within, because God is a creator. He is the creator. And just going back to letting people be and letting people connect to you themselves, this is helping them to just see, okay, nothing's happening, so what can I do? I wish to express some sort of kindness. How would I do that? And so I just feel that that's what I'm being inspired to do, that to really, in my case, I'm really being told to do, more or less do nothing, and let people around me start expressing themselves, and they might never call me or do anything, and to love that too, to just let it completely go, allow that, I think, for some of us that's how it is, and it's actually it's very wonderful for me, because I'm just sort of being told you've done what you came to do, really, and if you die in 5 minutes it doesn't really matter, because you'll just be moving on. So that's a feeling I get a lot, is you've really done what you need to do, and now all you really need to practice, or what God is guiding me to practice, is to really love to be, to really just love to be in my own being. Just enjoy it. Eat, drink, relax, lie in the sun, and emit this joy, really, excitement, celebration of life, as some of the channelings say. Celebrate. John Smallman, who channels Jesus and Saul, celebrate life, celebrate this moment. And as going back to Paul Selig, I was just seeing, he said, where God is, there's no fear. although God is in everything. But where God is, when you connect to God within you, you can't feel fear. It's just impossible. Because you feel so much joy and you feel so much goodness. You cannot have both. So this situation on the planet, oh my goodness, what a gift it is. What a gift it really, really is. And also the whole thing of all the doctors and the nurses and all these people who are working really, really hard to help people. It's really, really wonderful. And all these people have chosen to be right where they are right now because it's part of their growth process. So to just really, really get this, that first of all, everything is in divine order, everything is happening because it's meant to happen, everything that is happening you have chosen to experience. What a relief! We don't have to keep looking for what was wrong and what went wrong and have I done something wrong since I have to go through this. Just let all that go. And our relationship to death, which I have talked about before, is so important. Realize that you cannot die, you will not die. And as so many of these near-death people who've had near-death experiences say, that when you die, everything comes so alive. It becomes so clear and so beautiful and so colourful, and you see that Earth is really like this shadow place. It's not alive in the same way. You come alive when you die, even more alive. But we're being asked to bring. That's when they step into heaven, and what is going to happen, no matter what happens, whether you die or don't die in 5 minutes, whatever happens, this process will not be stopped. We are bringing heaven to earth. So the more of us who come into this heavenly state, this blissful state of enjoying being, we are bringing heaven to earth, because we are the energy of heaven. So it's all going to happen, and you can dance with it, or restrict it, or what do you call it? Push against it, not go with it. So yeah, I just think it's so wonderful. I hope you can use this in some way, to just shift the way you see everything, and know. I'll just end off with this. Know that I said this before. God wishes you to be in bliss, and as I feel it in my own life, although everything can seem very, very messy, I know deep down it's all in place. And how loving is that? God is not asking you to just get out there, do the hard work. He's asking you to live in bliss. Be the heaven, be the loveliness, be the sweetness, be the joy, be the celebration, be the dance, be the song in every moment. Not when the coronavirus is gone, when it all stops, because it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. Something else is going to come. We can be completely sure. So right now, choose bliss. What a parent is that? I want you to be blissful all the time. So beautiful. Let's go and see if the cows are sunbathing. Thank you, little Clara. Thank you for your presence. Thank you. Thank you, Lucy. Yeah. Yeah. Stay there. Beautiful. There they are. Let's just see. So I'll say a little prayer. Thank you, mighty, mighty Creator. You who are the light and the glory of all glory. You who created all and who is creating all the time. I thank you for life. Thank you for every single being on this planet. Animal, plant, tree, flower. Every grain of sand. From the depths of the ocean to the tops of the mountain. I thank you for all of life. Thank you for the beautiful oceans and the clear, clear water. All the animals living in the oceans, all the rivers, all the ponds, every drop of water in our tap. Water from the heavens. I thank you for it all. I thank you for the air we breathe. So fresh and so lovely. Thank you for the sky, the stars and the moon and the sun, every planet out into space. Thank you that there is no distance, that we are all connected. There is no inside and outside. There's no over there and over here. It's all right here, right now. And I thank you that you are love. You are joy. You are the joy of life, the joy of being. And I thank you that you're inviting us right now, in this time, and also tomorrow. And the next day, you are inviting us into bliss, into the joy of the heart of just being, sitting and drinking a cup of coffee, looking up into the sky, looking into the eyes of an animal, looking at the news, whatever we are doing. You are inviting us to feel the bliss. So help us all watching this video come into this blissful state of joy of life, and help us shine this light to all around us, and help us accept that when we go into fear or sadness, to just allow it to be, because we are just human. We are just on this journey of growth. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Bless every heart, every human. Help everyone feel that all is well. All is well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen. So let's do our Gabriel message. It's a bit windy out here, but we'll see. It's nature. Oh. Is your shirt? Yeah. Okay, let's see what the Lord wants. I just got 16. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like we haven't had that. So the Gabriel message number 16, be aware that the answers to all you are seeking are within you. Dear one, seeking answers to your life's questions outside yourself will seldom be necessary. This may seem impossible to you, and yet we are now in a time when people no longer need an intermediary with God, the source of all life. There has been a quickening in the electrical energy on and around the planet. Because you are an electrical being, you are very much affected by this increased energy frequency. A higher level of energy enables you to attune yourself to a finer vibration, which allows you to consciously receive the resonance of wisdom and love from the divine mind. Wisdom and love come through your energy field as light energy, which carries with it information allowing you to live more in harmony with the needs of your soul. This means that as you pray and meditate, you draw to yourself like a magnet a high frequency of light and love-filled energy. As this energy permeates your being, it opens your mind to receive answers to any questions you put forth. You have the capacity to be a conduit for information as well as for the ecstasy of God's love. It may not seem possible to receive answers to complicated questions, yet this is true only when fear and doubt cloud your perception. Pray to receive clearly and pray to know the truth that is in your highest good. You can ask to know beyond a shadow of a doubt. Then you can follow the diamond covenant of Moses. This declares that you are willing to do whatever is revealed to you when you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that which is in your highest good. This willingness to follow your inner guidance sets up a flow of energy through you which allows your higher self to be attuned to your conscious mind. When you are in a relaxed and expanded state of being, you have access to all the wisdom of the universe. The angels are available to flood your mind with love and light if you ask. When your being is filled with love and light, you understand consciously what steps to take in any situation. This inner knowing may not be immediately apparent to your conscious mind. However, as you go about your day, you will begin to respond to all situations with greater calm and certainty. When you look back, you will see how you just knew what to do. Here's a little practice. Try writing your question on a piece of paper. Have it with a pen close to you as you meditate and pray to know the truth beyond a shadow of a doubt. Call on your personal angelic teacher. Ask that your higher self be in tune with divine mind. Now sit, breathe in a rhythmic way, and allow your mind and body to relax. Visualize yourself sitting in a pillar of light connecting heaven and earth. After sufficient uninterrupted time, you may feel the impulse to write.
While you pray and meditate, you are in an expanded consciousness. From this place, all answers are obvious, yet the critical nature of the mind loves to make judgments. Do not read your answers right away. This will diffuse your inner critic. After an hour or so, go back and read what you have written. Most likely, you will surprise yourself with the simple practical solutions to your questions. With practice, this process becomes easier as you set up a direct conduit for your higher self, that party of you in touch with the angelic dimensions and divine guidance. This is the drawing age of direct guidance and wisdom. You no longer need priests, gurus, or those outside yourself to show you what is in your highest good. This does not mean that teachers and role models are not important. It does mean that you do not have to seek outside yourself to find the answers to your most important questions. No one else knows more than you what is right for your life. When you are aligned with God and spend quiet time in prayer and meditation, all that you want to know will be there for you. Be aware that the answers to all you are seeking are within you. Here's the card of the day. God's delight. Delight in all.
What? What is spinning?
Okay, so we'll finish this Sunday Shining. I have a feeling I read that before, but it doesn't matter. It's not important. Sometimes there's too many words. Sometimes all we need is just to look at the animals. Look at nature. Just be quiet. So I thank you all for being there. Thank you for being part of this video today, and for all the energy that you share, because we can all feel it, all that we're sharing with each other. So I pray for you and wish for you that you feel the calm, and you even get to feel the bliss, because it is in there. The bliss of God, it's in there. Heaven is in there, in you, and you are bringing heaven to earth.